Hello and welcome to the Butler Collegian Newscast. I'm Tori Dennis.
And I'm Stasia Rabel. Welcome back to another episode of the Newscast in the studio. We'll start off today with news around Butler's campus, then we will transition into sports, and lastly we will hear from a Butler ballerina who performed in the Nutcracker this weekend. Let's get started.
Finals week is next week, dogs. Be sure to check when your finals are, as they are not the same time as your regular classes. Head to butler.edu/registrar and click on the Final Grades and Exams tab to check when your final exams will take place. Also, be sure to turn in your textbooks from the Butler bookstore following your finals, as they are due on December 17th.
Speaking of finals week, it is important to stay stress-free during this week. BU Well will be hosting a sound bathing event on December 9th and December 14th at the HRC. Be sure to attend these events to stay calm during this stressful time.
With the semester wrapping up, Butler's Student Government Association is taking the opportunity to hear from their constituents on December 8th. The Cakes with the Committee event will allow students to provide feedback to senators while eating nothing but cakes and participating for prizes. The hour-long event will be held in the Riley Room starting at 5:30 p.m.
As Christmas break approaches, we can't forget about our winter graduates. If someone you know will be graduating, be sure to congratulate them, especially with the update to commencement following the structure from last year. It was recently announced there will not be a winter commencement. However, winter grads will have the opportunity to participate in this university's commencement ceremonies in May.
That is all the news we have for today. Now let's send it over to Jake and Kelly in the Butler Sports Corner.
Thanks, Tori. Welcome to the Butler Sports Corner. I'm Jake Collins.
And I'm Kelly Hallinan. Jake, we got a lot going on in Butler sports as of recently. Tell us about track and field's recent success.
Well, Kelly, you said it. Both the men's and women's track and field teams had a ton of success this past weekend. At the Blue and Gold Invitational on Friday in South Bend, Butler won 5 events on the men's side, including runner Tom Pitkin's new Butler School record 400-meter time of 47.26 seconds and Paul Signorelli's first place finish in the pole vault. The other events that Butler won were the 4x400 relay with Isaac Kane, Pitkin, Jacob Ewell, and Zach Stanley as the runners. Kane and Pitkin took the top 2 spots in the 200 meters, and the Bulldogs took the top 3 spots in the 1,000-meter race. Just an incredible night for the team. On the women's side, Nikki Easy won the 60-meter hurdles with a time of 8.53 seconds, beating her own school record of 8.61. Rebecca Collister won the 200-meter race, and Morgan Werner won the 3,000-meter race. There were even more good performances on Saturday at the Sharon Collier Danville season opener in Boston. Both Barry Keene and Simone Bedard topped the Bulldog School record in the indoors 5,000-meter race, including Keene breaking the Ireland national record for the same race. What a great weekend for our track and field athletes on both sides.
Yeah, Jay, congratulations to those track and field athletes, but let's talk football. It's that time of the year where the bowl games are set, top 4 teams are ranked, and coaches are leaving. It started with Oklahoma's Lincoln Riley, Notre Dame's Brian Kelly, and now right here at Butler with head coach Jeff Voris resigning. Voris led the program for 16 seasons, and his 80 victories rank 3rd all time behind Tony Hinkle and Bill Sylvester. Coach Voris said, "There is nothing quite like walking into Hinkle Fieldhouse every day, and after 32 years in coaching, including 16 at Butler, our family is ready to open a new chapter. Wherever this path takes us, our family will always cherish having been a part of the Butler community." Defensive coordinator Joe Cheshire has been named interim head coach for the Bulldogs, and the national search for a new head coach starts now.
How the search plays out will definitely be interesting to watch. Moving on to the women's basketball team, they finished off the back end of their 2-game road trip with a 59-45 loss to Marquette in Milwaukee. After trailing 34-23 at halftime, the Bulldogs would score 11 straight to tie the game at 34, led by graduate forward Selena Taborn. However, the Golden Eagles outscored Butler 25-11 for the rest of the game to win by 14. Taborn had a double-double for Butler, finishing with 14 points and 10 rebounds. The Bulldogs fell to 0-8 on the season, but there are definitely signs of hope for the future. After struggling with many different players going in and out of the rotation due to injury and having to play some games with only 8 active players, the team is now as healthy as it has been all season. A number of freshmen have also been able to get great experience in extended minutes due to some of the injuries, including Zoe Jackson, Trinity White, leading scorer Alex Richard, and Sydney Janes. The Bulldogs' next game is on this Friday, December 10th versus the University of Denver at 6 p.m. inside of historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. Make sure to be there.
And on the other side, the Butler men's basketball team had a little bit of a break before facing Oklahoma, coming off of 2 wins in a row against Division II schools Chaminade and Saginaw Valley State. It hasn't been easy for the Dogs, playing a tough Michigan State team, a Final Four Houston team, and an Oklahoma squad ran by Porter Moser, who was in the Sweet 16 last year with Loyola Chicago. And all of this tough competition is without a 100% healthy teams. I'm talking about the injuries. Bryce Enzi, Bo Hodges, Miles Tate remain out and have missed some key non-conference game. But on the bright side, this has been a great experience for these younger players like Jaden Taylor and DJ Hughes, who were in high school last year and are getting the full introduction to college hoops. It looks like it'll be a bright future for them. Up next, the Dogs are back at Hinkle on Saturday to face Eastern Illinois. And then the following Saturday, a classic Indiana matchup at Bankers Life against #1 in the nation, the Purdue Boilermakers. December is going to be a fun month for Butler basketball.
Well, that's all we have in this week for the Butler Sports Corner. I'm Jake KAUFMAN.
And I'm Kelly Hallinan. Back to you guys.
Thanks for the update, Jake and Kelly.
Now we will send it over to Gabi, who is here to interview a dancer who performed in the Nutcracker this past weekend.
Thanks, Tori. I'm Gabi Mirando here today with REYNA CARRILLO, who performed in the Butler Ballet Nutcracker this weekend. So, REYNA, were you expecting to get the lead role of the Sugar Plum?
No, I was really not expecting to get this role. I was actually really shocked when I saw the cast list. And it took me a while to get excited about it because it was really unbelievable. Yeah.
And what was the preparation like for this role, and what was it like to finally perform?
So preparation was lots of hours of rehearsal and learning the choreography, and I also got to work one-on-one with Professor Rufo on my variation and on the partnering sections. And then, yeah, I think the worst part was having Thanksgiving break before production week. So over the break, Max and I FaceTimed. Max is my partner. So we would do abs and run through the sequence to stay in shape for the show.
And were you able to do anything this year that wasn't possible last year due to COVID-19?
Yeah, so the partnering work, we weren't allowed to touch each other at all. So this year we were able to do that, which I think just enhances the whole thing. And we were also for the core pieces, people were able to be together. And if they have to hold hands or stuff, they could do that. So that was really nice.
Yeah. And what was your favorite part of the Nutcracker this year?
Okay, my favorite part, this is something that I had never done before. It's bringing the maestro onto the stage at the end in our final bow. And that was something that is different this year from last year due to COVID, is that we had an orchestra. So last year we had to use a recording, and this year we had the orchestra back, which just makes the dancing so much more fun and lively. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today, REYNA, and best of luck in the rest of your dance performances this year.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gabi, and great job this weekend, REYNA.
That's all for this week's Butler Collegian Newscast. To stay up to date with all things news on Butler's campus, visit us online at thebutlercollegian.com or on Twitter at Butler Collegian. For the Butler Collegian, I'm Stasia Rabel.
And I'm Tori Dennis. Have a great week, Dogs, and we will see you back here in January.